Gopiyana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopiyana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Rangjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Rangjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Rangjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Yayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Sadha Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Yayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Sadha Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Sakshidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardham Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Kshetra Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Brihat Mridanga Transcendenta Bhakti Shivisham Ki Jai Shri Harinam Samkirtam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. I was this morning remembering a verse that when I first read Bhagavatam really got me. It goes like this, spoken by Sukadeva Goswami in the second canto. Ayur harati vai pumsam udyanasta shayanasau tasyaite yakshano nita uttama shloka vartayam. So he said that Ayur harati vai pumsam, that there is one personality whose activities, by his activities, is taking away the lifespan of all living entities. He's decreasing our life. And in the second verse, it's hinted who's that personality. And Udyanasta Shayana Sav, by rising and setting, he does that. He takes away our life, and that's the sun. Every day our life is, as one of my friends likes to say, we are getting close, because in his humility he thinks himself very fallen and sinful, and he say, when I ask him, how are you, Prabhu? He say, well, getting closer to Yamaraj, because it's in his humility. Those who knows him knows that he is very great soul. So every single day, you know who is. Every single day our life is decreasing, or the life of materialistic people who are engaged in mundane activities and hearing so many mundane topics. But the person who's tasyate yakshanonita uttama shloka vartaya, who's engaged in hearing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, his life is actually glorious. The sun cannot take away his lifespan. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his Sarartha Darshini commentary of Bhagavatam, in this verse, if I remember good, he said that that activity of hearing the transcendental topics of the Lord, especially describing in Srimad Bhagavatam, should not be delayed. As soon as one has the opportunity of hearing social pastimes, especially given in Bhagavatam, we should at once take that opportunity. And so he goes on to explaining how the devotee, although he is afflicted, he might be afflicted by old age and diseases, that is actually the Lord's blessing upon him, because by giving him distresses due to old age and diseases, his longing increases for being in the association of the Lord. So he is actually getting closer to him, not closer to Yamaraj, like ordinary conditioned souls. So I just want to thank you, all of you, because you have dedicated your life for so many years to daily hear the topics of Bhagavatam, even though some speakers like myself may be completely unqualified and I cannot reveal any meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, but still your dedication and your love for Sri Sri Rukmini Dwarkadish and Srila Prabhupada speaks for itself. So I want to prostrate myself at the lotus feet of all of you and ask for your blessings, to be able to speak anything worthy of hearing, and for my own purification and the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Rukmini Dwarkadish. Anchakalpataru Yasha Kripa Sindhu Vyayavasha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. So having saying that, we can dive into our daily topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatin Vyasam Tato Yan Mudirayet Nastapraye Sabadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktere Bhavati Naistiki. So we're hearing today, or reading today, for the Canto 3, Chapter 20, text 30 and 31, because the 30 doesn't have any purport. So I'll read briefly the text 30, and then we'll go to the next one. Anyonya sleya jotunga nidantara payodaram sunasam sutviyam snigdha hasalila valokanam. Translation: her breast projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and a beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras. Okay, now text 31st. Guhating Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Samumuhu Striyam Guhating Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Samumuhu Striyam Guhamting Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam Guhamting Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam. Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam Rutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam Guhamtim Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Upalabhyasura Dharma Sarve Samumuhu Striyam Guhamtim Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam Guhamtim Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Dharma. Vaishnavis, please. Guhamtim Vridayatmanam Nilalaka Varutinim Palapyasura Dharma Sarve Sanmumuhu Striyam. Okay. Guhamtim, hiding. Vridaya, out of shyness. Atmanam, herself. Nila, dark. Alaka, hair. Varutinim, a bunch. Upalabhya, Upon imagining Asuraha, the demons, Dharma, O Vidura, Sarve, all, Sanmumuhu, were captivated. Striyam, women. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Adorned with dark tresses, she did herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite. Thank you, Maharaj. With an appetite for sex. Purport. The difference between demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the minds of demons, but she cannot attract the mind of a godly person. A godly person is full of knowledge, and a demoniac person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sex. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breast, high hips, beautiful nose, and fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty of women can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised that all persons not to be attracted by interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty in spiritual life. The real beauty is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted by the false beauty of this material world. That is the difference between a demon and a godly person or a devotee. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnanangyana Shalakaya Shakshurur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadam Tikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavamdo Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kamta Namostate Tapta Kamchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadarhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ayanulambita bhujau khanakavadatan sankirtanai kapitarau kamalaya taksha Vishwambaro diyavaro jugadharma phalau Vande yagat priyakarau karunavatara Yom tah pravisha mama vasham imam prasuptam samjivayatya gila shakti dara swadamna Anya shahasta sharana shravana tvagadim Pranam namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam Guhamtim vridayatmanam nilalaka varutinim Upalabhya sura dharma sarve sanmu muhustriyam. So here the mentality of demons is very nice depicted. The demoniac person, sometimes the idea of demons that people have in modern times is an ugly personality with horns and a like really ugly face and red eyes, and he especially comes at night and he does his thing. But actually the demoniac person is one who is attached or one who sees this material nature, especially in the form of a woman, as an object of enjoyment. In the beginning of second canto of Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami described very nicely and very briefly, but very deep, the activities of materialistic people who are considered demoniac. Because sometimes also the distinction is not so clear. We might think that materialistic people think themselves to be heroes in this world or to be very good personalities, but actually according to Vedic understanding, one who is not attracted to Krishna, one who is not inclined to spiritual activities or devotional service, and he's engaged in so many materialistic activities, he is considered to be an asura or a demon. So Sukadeva Goswami very nicely described the activities of demons in 2 verses. In 3 verses, he first explained that they are apashatyan atma tattvam grihesu grihamedinam, that they have no knowledge of atma tattvam. They don't know anything about spiritual life, what to speak of Krishna. So they, because of that, they engage day and night in hearing so many things about this material world. Shrotavyadini Rayendra Nrina Shanti Sahasrasaha. They're hearing unlimited thousands of topics of especially sex topics and all this rubbish. We don't want to go into details. So because apashatyan atma tattvam, they're blind. Apashatyan, pashati means to see. So apashatins mean those who don't see anything or don't see the reality of this world. So they engage in the next verse. He says, Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena chava avayaha nivasharte haya rayam kutumba varanenava. They spend the night engaged in sex activities because of these attractions toward the opposite sex. Or sleeping, they sleep. Sometimes Prabhupada in his classes will say that now in the Western world, people want to speak 25 hours. That's what they consider a success in their life. If I can sleep for 25 hours. And I remember having a friend, and she used to work so hard. She's a doctor, and she lives in Miami. But she works really hard, sometimes 15 days in a row without taking any break. And then when she have a break, she sleeps like Muchukunda for so long, So, and then she considered that, her greatest success. And if I can have a day, completely sleep. So, and then in the morning, such materialistic people, diva charte haya rayam kutumba varanenava, they are very busy collecting money. Where is money? Money. Brighter than sunshine and sweeter than honey, like Prahlad Maharaj says. And they are very busy collecting items for material enjoyment. And kutumba varanenava. Yes, I'm sorry, Maharaj. Sometimes I'm very, very passionate when I have to speak on these topics. So, they've become very, they're very busy collecting the items for sense enjoyment and kutumba varanenava, to maintain their temporary family affairs and family members. And then he goes on saying that this happened because of deep-rooted attraction toward this body, dehapatya kalatradisu, atma sainesu asatsu api. They are very much attached to this deha. We are attached to our bodies. And apatya, the children, and kalatra, the wife or husband, as the case may be. And dehapatya kalatradisu, atma sainesu, and all the relatives. But they are all asatsu api. Asat means something that is temporary. So these are all temporaries. Or Prabhupada would translate saying the fallible soldiers. That a demon, he thinks that now I have got my family, I have so many children, and if there is some danger, my wife, will also help me, and I have a really big bank account, and if there is some sickness or any disease or any problem, then I can just take shelter of that. But then Sukadeva Goswami said that this is asatsobi, these are fallible soldiers, and Dehapatya kalatradisu atma sainesu asatsobi tesan pramata nidanam pashyangapi napashati. And because of this, they become mad, pramata. They are mad into this, after these materialistic activities. And tesan pramata nidanam pashyangapi napashati. Again, pashati. So, even though they see the destruction of this body and the relatives, they don't want to see. And the perfect example is some of my relatives. And now that I went to my country after many years, 11 years, for the first time, and I saw them. And when I was there, when I got there, I was hearing the news of how such and such person passed away, and the other person passed away, and they were enjoying very nice life. And I say, well, Pashati, though they're seeing. And I was telling them to read Prabhupada's books. Some of them got some, good fortune, and they started reading right away. Most of them, they think it's like something not so important. So they were so busy engaging in this materialistic activity, especially sex activity, become so attached to the body of a woman, in this case, just like these demons that Lord Brahma is, Maitreya is speaking. Maitreya is telling to Vidura that Lord Brahma created the twilight, and the demons mistook that body of being a beautiful woman, so many nice attributes. And in the same way, the materialistic people cannot recognize that our material bodies are a creation of Maya. This is the external energy of the Lord. Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kanmano, Buddhireva, Cha. So it's made of, all these different external energies of the Lord: earth, fire, water, air, etc. They cannot see that. So they imagine, oh wow, such a nice form, I shall enjoy this. And then, actually, this is the cause of materialistic life, conditioned life, and it brings about the repetition of birth and death. Pumsam striya mituni bhavangetam tayor mito hridaya granting ahur ata griha sheta suta atta vitar janasya mohoyam mameti. So Lord Rishabdev explains that the basic of conditioned life or asuric life is when one becomes attracted by the external beauty or attributes of the opposite sex. And the basis of this misconception, which ties the heart together, the hearts of a woman and a man, then one becomes attracted to this griha, kshetra, suta, apta, vita, or this house and the job and children and family and bank account and relatives and society, community. And therefore, one develops this mentality of I and my. This is my house, this is my car, this is my bank balance, this is my money. And one undergoes repetition of birth and death. So I was remembering this morning when His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami told us the story of a brahmachari who, after many years of being a brahmachari, he married a lady just because he told Maharaj that he saw her soft and tender feet of that lady, and he became so mad after that. He couldn't see that this is just this. It's bag of flesh and all those things. So he became so mad, enchanted, that he got married with that lady. And Maharaj told him, but yeah, that's okay, you can get married, but remember that Krishna also has a beautiful feet, okay? just don't get too much into your wife's feet. And then Prabhupada explained that this is a real beauty. The real beauty in this world is the beauty of Krishna. Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Sovam. His beauty far excels millions and millions and millions of cupids. So when a devotee or a person becomes attracted to this beauty of Radha Krishna, unfortunately I'm not such a person, but that's why Shastra describe and Acharyas describe, then they forget all the beauty of the material world. And I remember a quote from Prabhupada in a letter where he says that the more he advises his disciples to decorate the deities, and he said, the more you decorate the deity, the more you forget about this material beauty, so-called material beauty. And there was another story that I heard from Radheshyam Prabhu. He was saying that he was very nicely explaining how, for example, here in the purport, Prabhupada explained or says, mentioned that Sri Shankaracharya has advises all person not to be attracted by interaction of flesh and blood. And Radheshyam Prabhu was saying that once another brahmachari came to his spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and then he said, Maharaj, I am so attracted by my wife, so can you give me a tip so that I can just go on performing my services without, being so captivated? And then Maharaj asking, so what is that you're so captivated? And then he said, well, she has a beautiful breast, and I'm mad after those. I mean, at least he was very honest when it's a spiritual master. And then Maharaj, being a sadhu means one who cuts through. He say, well, if I take the breast of your wife and I cut it down and I put it in a plate and I'll give it to you, you'll eat that? And he say, no, forget about it. I won't do that. He say, well, this is how Maya works. And Maya puts together all these, different things in so expert way that we become so captivated. So we should not be, he says to them, you should not be so attracted to her breast. And that's the difference between a sura and asura. A devotee, he also married. It's not like everyone has to be like a renounced. He also married, but he doesn't see his, the body of his wife or husband, as the case may be, as an object of enjoyment. He marries sometimes because it's the order of the spiritual master, or sometimes because he thinks that in this position I'll be better in my devotional service. I can even expand my preaching activities, or I can be like more comfortable in my devotional service. But he is never attracted by that beauty of external temporary beauty, illusory beauty of the partner. So, and also I remember in one of my grandfathers, he used to tell me something which is very wise, although he was not so wise. But yeah, well, I have to speak the truth. A person who's not attracted inclined by spiritual life, Shastra says, is like an animal. But he used to tell me something very wise, and I was a kid, and I remember this very nice. Yeah, I'm 35 years old, Maharaj. Yeah. So I was like around 7, 8 years old when he was. That's when I remember. Yeah. So he used to say that husband and wife should be, because my grandmother was very chaste. I have to say that. So he used to say that husband and wife should be like the eyes. That the eyes are always looking in the same direction. If you look that, both eyes are looking to the same direction. But they should never look to each other so much, because otherwise they will lose the path ahead. So he used to tell me that. Of course, as a kid, you don't understand these things because you don't have a wife, or you're not even thinking of having a wife. But somehow I never forgot that. And then seeing this in the life of many devotees, how they, after many years of being each other, they can do wonderful things in Krishna service, but always putting Krishna as the center. I realized that my grandfather gave me a really nice instruction, although he was not, the most exalted personality. So someone may say also, how can I become attracted by Krishna's beauty? Because I don't see Krishna. So many people have mystical experience seeing Krishna in dreams, or I don't know, in many ways. I remember people saying that devotees who are experiencing, they are in the last days and Krishna comes to them. So, but most of us, at least speaking for myself, I haven't seen Krishna. And someone may say, well, how can you be attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna if we don't see them? Because generally, as materialistic people, we want to see everything with our eyes. And in the Niti Shastra, it is said that 3 kinds of persons see this world in different ways. The dog, he sees this world through his nose. he's sniffing and smelling so many things. So that's how he find, oh, there is a nice food. This is my master. This is an enemy. There is danger here, through his nose. And then a materialistic person, he sees this world through his eyes, And we all know this very well, because even the materialistic leaders of this society knows that very well, so that they're attracting people with so many billboards and movies, and to attract people through the arts. But the transcendentalist, he sees this world through his ears. So he hears only transcendental topics, and by so doing, he actually developed that Shastra Shakshusha. He sees this world through the eyes of the Shastra. So this is how we can become attracted by the beauty of Radha Krishna. And if you don't believe me, here is Rukmini. She's the Acharya of hearing, because she only heard about Krishna. She never saw Krishna before, and she only heard about him. What was that verse in the letter? Shutra gunam bhuvana sundara Srinatham te nirvisya karna vivarai harayo antagatam. Yeah, she said that. She said that, O Lord of the three worlds, after hearing about your pastimes, which entered through the ears and destroy all the bodily pains and distress. And she's not only a acharya of hearing, she's also a doctor, because she's saying that by hearing about Krishna, you can be relieved from all pains in your body. And after hearing about your beauty, now my shameless mind is attracted to you, And we all know the story very well, how she wrote that letter to Krishna. And then Krishna immediately ran to kidnap her. So we all know that very beautiful story. Unfortunately, we don't have time to dive into that. But yeah, that's how we can become attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna, and forget this illusory beauty in the form of, especially, women for men and men for a women, that also brings unlimited miseries. You can see when we go out on Sankirtan and we see how people are so attached to enjoy, especially sex enjoyment. We can see how degraded they are. Now that I was in my country, in Cuba, is a very well-known place for people are very happy. And so I was there, and I saw many of my friends that they wasted their entire life in sex, basically, only having sex day and night, like rabbits or pigeons or monkeys. And I saw them, many look like my grandfather, really old, and so many diseases. And I remember I was walking through like the hood, to see one of my best friends who's very sick, and he's basically dying. So I went to see him, and walking through that neighborhood, I was with Tilak and everything, and people were looking at me like, wow, who's this guy, And yeah, but the point is that they are so attached to this sex life, and as a result, they are getting their consequences. They are suffering unlimited miseries, unlimited. I can't even start describing all the things that they are going through. And we all know these things, especially those devotees who go out and approach people on book distribution. Yeah, we realize those things. Okay, we don't have time to continue speaking on this topic, so I will end right here. If there is any commentaries or yes, Maharaj. Okay. You're making a lot of notes.
Yes, thanks for a nice class, Prabhu.
but what's bad about it? I don't feel people are talking about what's really bad about it. And unless you can tell somebody who's out there enjoying like anything, he's not going to listen to you. Because he said, I'm having a wonderful time, and you're telling me to give up sex? Get out of here. I've been told this many times in the course of my spiritual career. So, what is bad is this. It's called attachment. And if you get attachment is like chewing gum. You know, you sit down on chewing gum and you get up and you can't get up because you're pulling the gum with you. Therefore, attachment means you can't give up the person. And the person is not available now. She's gone away. She's got a new lover or a new whatever. But you're panting, you're yearning, you're desiring to be with her or him. You can't. And that makes you miserable. And you start crying. And you say, why did I get into this? You begin to see the bad side that you couldn't see earlier. The good side, which is the pleasurable side, the blissful side, the joyful side. And you thought that's all of it. So that's what we all have to understand. That there are two sides to every story. And in terms of sex, there's the pleasurable side and there's very unpleasurable side also. You have to see that side too. But if you disregard it, ignore it, and have nothing to do with it, you're not seeing it completely, and you will suffer. To not suffer is simply to follow the instructions God gave us. One to follow after the proper way, the principle of marriage. In that manner, don't even then become attached. Because if we are attached to it, wife can get sick, wife may throw a plate at you. So many things can happen which causes pain and suffering, which we ignore, disregard, want nothing to even think about. But if we think about all of them, we'll be ready for them. And if you get a plate thrown in your head, you won't be surprised. You just take the parts and throw them away and take anything else.
Yes, yes.
That's the way it is. That it's bad because what it does. And then you can't go on with the spiritual life because you're moaning and groaning and crying and talking to your friends. Oh, she deserted me. She went with somebody else and this and that. So our business is basically to lovingly serve Krishna. That has to be our foremost, greatest, highest, and best love. If that is, then the love of flesh will be far inferior. But we have to remember that. There's pain, suffering, along with pleasure and joy.
Jai, thank you for such an enlightening commentary, Maharaj. Yes, yes, indeed. Krishna says to Uddhava in the 11th canto that is a root cause. Is what you mentioned. Attachment is a attachment to sex. Na tatasya bhavet klesho bandha shangas prasangata. He mentioned that is that attachment. Yes, Prabhu. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You're speaking a little bit about the hearing process. The transcendentalist sees through hearing. I was reflecting on how. Yes, I most definitely will. Thank you, Maharaj. I was thinking about how susceptible we are to hearing, and even says, especially like the brahmachari, their austerity is that of hearing. I was just wondering what you would say on how we can protect the hearing process, you know, because sometimes we're out, maybe on books, or just anywhere in the world, and we hear so many nonsense things, and it can be really disturbing, you know. So what's your recommendation?
Yeah, matraspasastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkava, agama payino nitis tantitika swavarata. You have to tolerate those things because you cannot just go out like this. You know, those things are definitely going to enter into your heart. But then the devotee, or in this case a brahmachari, should protect himself with more hearing. The more you can hear Krishna Katha, and not paying attention or meditating in mundane topics, the more you will be safe from that. Because actually, our desire for enjoying in this world grows by meditating in these things. It's not the problem. The problem is not hearing, once or twice about these topics. The problem is that when we hear, and they enter into our heart, and then we start continuously meditating on this, the beautiful girl that I saw on the corner, or that cake that they have in the store, or whatever. So that's the problem when we meditate on those things. So because we are a preaching movement, and we cannot be locked in a room in the brahmachari ashram, and you have to go out and approach people. And Kali Yuga is so loose that everyone is speaking very freely about these topics, and we cannot avoid that. We cannot avoid hearing, but what we can do is increase our hearing of Krishna Katha, or reading Prabhupada's books, and in this way we'll be protected by that layer of spiritual Katha. Is that okay for you? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he's asked a question, and it was a question that I had myself, and just about anyone who goes out and does Sankirtan, males, females. There's always this sexual attraction. How can that be avoided? So the question is that it's mentioned right in our books, and it's mentioned by Prabhupada many times. It doesn't mean it will always work. It means you have to, what we call, redo, or you have to reestablish, you have to restate those things which will help us detach from the things which are attracted to them. So the first thing, of course, is that, let's just take it from a male side, because that's what I am. So when I see a beautiful woman, the first thing you say, well, yeah, I want to get to know her, a beautiful smile and this and that. But then you have to step back and say, well, wait a minute. It's flesh, blood, lymph, perspiration, and a few other things which are not so nice.
Not so pleasurable.
Okay. So when you see the total picture and see things as they are and for what they are, they're not so beautiful as the initial look at that. So that brings you to detachment. You start to say, well, wait a minute, that smells terrible, or that's horrible looking. It's beauty, but it's not total beauty. There's a lot there that I don't want and I don't care about. And my mind wanting to enjoy is only thinking of that which is enjoyable. So I am partially blind. So we have to realize that. I'm partially blind. So what am I blind about? And when you enumerate those things that we're blind about, that immediately allows us to see things at least as they are, as opposed to how we imagine them to be. That's all. That's how I had to deal with it. I didn't always succeed, so if you don't succeed the first time, keep on trying. At least I got to the sannyasa.
Okay. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpa Taruvya Kripa Sindhubhyaya Vasha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.